Good evening. I'm Enari Darklor and welcome to Churikua. Do you think is it good that prohibitions exist? Sometimes an event gives rise to them, and this monastery is no exception. My family is from Muereasca, but for reasons that you will soon know about, not to mention work reasons, I now live in Ramniku Valcha. In the commune, my father made a living driving with a truck that was a cargo truck that carried everything from materials, groceries, etc., that knew the roads in and out of the commune. His great driving skills made him reliable in his job. However, trading never fails to knock on our door. One day, my sister Alina was riding with him. She was the oldest. She was about 16 years old, and I was only about 7 or 8. It was common for Alina to ride with Dad in the truck occasionally, especially when Dad brought too much merchandise and had no other duties at home. She would help Dad with the list of merchandise to be delivered to different suppliers and also what we were to receive for them. Likewise, if there was merchandise to be purchased, an order was placed and they would bring it. Most of the farmers in town and those who produced some handicrafts depended on my father and two other trucks that were in town. Much of the income at the time depended on their work, and not to mention the fact that we were able to find some products that could not be produced here. With the help of the trucks, we were able to acquire some fabrics and sewing products. Although it is a small place, thanks to my father's work and Alina's help, it was different from the other two trucks that we had at the time in town. Since Alina was very good at organizing and even quick calculations, an outstanding skill that at the time, despite the ideas that she should only study things for women if that was her path, or to go looking for a husband. Our parents agreed that Alina finish her duties and that brought in large orders so she could help him on his truck. And our parents hoped that once she won the admiration of everyone, it would not be long before she would find a good husband and start a family of her own, and perhaps find a good man to help that on the truck as well. The day came, and it was the day that marked our lives. My father went out as usual to deliver goods. Alina went with him, as there was a lot of merchandise to carry. However, they did then count on the fact that when they returned with empty truck, the weather was going to be bad, and for some unknown reason, the the fog became so thick that they did not see the detour and went uphill towards the monastery instead of going home. The truck overturned and that managed to get out, and the truck fell in the direction of a ravine. When he realized Alina was lying dead, he realized that when he got out of the truck, Alina fell on the grass and hit her head on a rock. That wasn't harm, just a few bumps as he got out, so he took Alina in his arms and carried her. He sought help at church, where the father was still. The news was grim. Alina had died from the blow to the head from the rock. The doctor ruled upon the arrival at church. Father was devastated, and in his grief and tears he was lamenting what had happened. As the doctor arrived, the father asked about what had happened and only designed and only deigned to comfort that Once the heartbreaking news was known, with pain and regret, father said that surely the mistake of going uphill on the hill with Alina was what cost him her life, as the curse of the monastery was what claimed her life. That was blaming himself for what happened, that never fully recovered from this event. Only on the Alina's death anniversary, he stays at home or in church on his knees all day praying, asking forgiveness for his mistake. When I had the opportunity to leave the commune, I took it. Since going to church, whose holy image ends the lives of women just by approaching or taking a road to the monastery, even just by mistake, ends their lives taking a part of ours in the process. For years, every time I went to Mass, I read that inscription in the monastery, and that causes me much repulsion. I read it so many times that it even resides in my memory, and I can recite it word for word. This holy place was built from Telemuli to be a monk's monastery, and because the women could bring scandal to the monks living there, therefore under heavy constraint, it was stopped from this place to trespass on, under any circumstances, to the women. And those who will dare to continue shall be under a curse, and all misfortune shall come upon them, such as poverty, loss, and all kinds of punishments. And again, to those who will keep this decree, may the blessing of God and our humility come upon them. Kalini, Bishop of Ramnikului no Louis Severin, January 17, 1867. I was not reassured, and when I asked one of the elders of town, they told me that a long time ago there was a shepherdess who accidentally crossed this boundary. She had convulsions, and they could not find the reason of her illness until she was able to admit that she accidentally crossed the boundary looking for a sheep that needed to be brought back. Upon hearing this, her parents sent for Saint Callinicus, who, upon hearing the young girl, and although reluctant and angry for having crossed, upon listening to her, understood that she did not do it in a bad faith or with intention. So, under the promise that this would not happen again, he prayed, and soon she was cured. There is no doubt that this is what made me the person I am now. The confirmation to my fears, and to realize that the warnings we are given are real. If you were here, would you dare to go beyond the restriction?